The New River is 320 miles long, and it winds its way through North Carolina, Virginia, and West Virginia. The New River has very diverse wildlife. It has 7 endemic species that are only found in the New River watershed, nowhere else in the world. It also has a lot of bioindicator species, such as hellbenders, that are incredibly vulnerable to bank health and river health in general. My name is Chelsea Blunt. I'm the Restoration Director for New River Conservancy. I'm just one of the many partners putting together today's event, as you can see. This is a little bit of a struggling stream. I wouldn't say it's unhealthy, but it definitely has a lack of a riparian buffer. Behind me, it's been mowed. It's a little more manicured. So we're going to try to get some more veg on this stream. It does seem to be eroding a little more heavily on this side, so we're going to get some root systems in there. It's important to have healthy stream banks for the overall health of the river. If there's one thing that you can do for the river, you want to plant something on it. It's the last line of defense for the water quality. It's going to protect that water quality. Riparian buffers are the last line of defense to protect water quality. They perform a lot of functions. They filter surface runoff, they keep the stream bank from eroding, and they provide a lot of habitat for native wildlife. Actively eroding stream banks contribute a lot of sediment to the river. The EPA lists sedimentation as the #1 cause of pollution in rivers. Blue-green algae is a direct result of excess sedimentation. When you've got really warm water, a lot of excess nutrients and dirt in that water, it's going to spawn a lot of algal growth, and it can be toxic to both animals and humans. New River Conservancy started the River Builder program, which is a riparian buffer restoration program, in 1998, and we completed our first riverbank planting in 1999. River Builder has planted over 850,000 trees and shrubs over 100 miles of river, and we've worked with 450 different landowners. The most common method of restoring eroding stream banks is to just plant with native woody shrubs. Those can be live stakes, potted plants, trees, bare root. If the erosion on your stream bank is too severe, you may need to call a contractor and have engineered design plans for your site drawn up. A live stake is just a native cutting of a mature woody shrub that can then be directly inserted back into the ground and then grow into another mature shrub. You can get live stakes from local nurseries. One example of a local nursery that carries native live stakes is Foggy Mountain Nursery, located in Hilton, North Carolina.
This one's silky dogwood. Always has this nice red color, ranges from these real deep red stems to this kind of a pale green. We spray paint the tops so you know which side goes up. You've got silky willow, which is always, my guys call them white, but you can see they have kind of a gray tint to them. This is elderberry or sambucus. This has the warts, has a pithy center. So if you look at the middle, it's got like a corky center. This is the one they make wine and elderberry jams and all that out of. What other species do I have? Black willow somewhere. This one, it's got a coarser bark. This one makes a tree. All the rest of the species here will make a shrub. So what we do is we take and make an angled cut. I do it to a point. You're exposing a lot of cambium on both sides. And then we make a small callus of 3 or 4 inches deep. 3 or 4 inches long, not very deep. And that stake is ready for install. The most important thing is when you drive them in, try to get at least 60% of the stake in the ground. You're getting down to where you're reaching that depth where there's some groundwater, where the soils are more moist, and it'll aid in your rooting. So.
Alright, so we want to pick a spot that doesn't have any roots. We'll try to get the stake started with our hands a little bit. And once it's in a little bit, you just want to hammer it in. You just want to get it in at least 2/3 of the way, so it's hopefully reaching a little bit of groundwater. And it's good to go. Live stakes do best on the bank slope. Begin your first row of live stakes at the water's edge. Then continue to plant rows spaced about 3 feet apart. Ideally, the last row of live stakes should be planted at the top of the bank where the slope becomes flat. We recommend at least a 25-foot vegetated buffer to protect the river or stream bank. Plant live stakes during the dormant months, usually October to April. Potted plants and shrubs can be planted any time of year. There are no permits required for planting shrubs and trees along a stream. However, permits are required for any construction work that takes place in the water. The New River is a common resource, and we really want people to understand that it is everybody's river and everybody has a responsibility to take care of it.